decided that it's time for me to do a Sugilite video. This video is a little bit different because I started recording things when I first got my Sugilite and started wearing it around. So I actually have on film like the struggle. You know, sometimes people tell you stories of, I got this crystal and this is what happened to me. It changed my life, but it was really hard at first, but everything ended up okay. And while I think that's really cool, I feel like the struggle that you go through is sometimes kind of like glossed over because it's so exciting that you got to the beginning and got what you wanted. But I'm so happy that I recorded what I was feeling in the moment when I was going through like the uneasiness of change in the beginning of this, and also going back and looking at the things I was saying and then the things that have happened is just, it's really cool. So Sugilite, right here, is known as one of the stones of transformation. And that is probably why I got it. I remember hearing that people had similar experiences with it as they did to Moldavite. You guys know I love Moldavite. If you don't know, I will link a Moldavite video for you so you can hear my Moldavite story, but I also have multiple Moldavite videos. Just a little bit about Sugilite. It is this beautiful dark purple color. Sugilite is supposed to help you and support you living in your truth. So it helps you tap into that realness inside of you. It's supposed to remind the soul of its reasons for incarnating. It's supposed to be a joyful stone for those who have felt like they never fit in, and specifically for light workers who find it difficult to adjust to the earth's vibration, which again reminds me a little bit of what they say about Moldavite. It's great for meditating, manifesting, lucid dreaming. It's really good for opening the crown chakra. And this is the line that I really like about it. One of the very best crystals for those who are highly sensitive and take on whatever energies are around them, because I have a real problem with that. And this is supposed to put a shield of light around you, which just sounds so lovely. And it's also supposed to be a powerful attractor of healing energies. So all of that stuff is very cool about it. I ended up getting Sugilite because I wanted the transformation. I wanted change in my life. I wanted to adjust my life into an even better direction. But also, not only did I want to see that, but I also wanted to go through the process and see what it felt like and what it actually did for me. And it's pretty cool what it did for me. So I'm just gonna jump to me a couple of months ago talking about Sugilite. Hey guys. I don't know about this video thing that I'm trying to do here, but we're gonna just experiment because I have a long commute now. I'm probably gonna have to set something up eventually, but today, maybe this will work today. We'll see. So, since the beginning of the year, today's March 1st. Since the beginning of the year, I've been going through some really big life changes. I left my job at the beginning of January. I think it was January the 3rd or the 5th. I'd have to go back and look, but things are different, and I attribute that to a few different things. Like, first of all, I just feel like the year 2020 is a year of change in general, and I've heard a lot of things that I believe, because when I hear them, I get super excited about them and they just feel true to me, that like this is the year a lot of us are going to come into our, I don't want to say come into our gifts, but this is the year we're actually going to land on the path that we've been looking for forever, and we're finally going to have success and all of this stuff. And maybe I just have to believe that because I'm just trying so hard to build something and to really change the way my life feels day to day. Even though So there's so much I love about my life, right? But the whole like working and career thing, I'm definitely like grasping at straws and trying to figure out exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. I want to be able to like feel fulfilled and happy with all of that, but I also want to be very like financially free. I want to be able to travel a lot and do things like that. I'm so exhausted of just doing. I'm just so exhausted of fighting, right? Like my career life has just been a major struggle for me for the past, I don't know how long, maybe forever. Anyways, so that's the first reason I think a lot of stuff started to change at the beginning of the year, but also I think crystals had a lot to do with it. And one thing is I built a New Year grid to get the things out of 2020 that I wanted. And I think that in building that grid, I changed a lot of things about my life, and it happened so quickly. I started feeling that change on New Year's Eve, and a couple of days later, I wasn't working at my job anymore. And I definitely did not know that was going to happen. So I think that had a lot to do with it, but also there's one last component that I haven't talked a lot about yet, and it's Sugilite. So if you guys have watched my Moldavite video, you know that Moldavite called me in a million different ways before I got it, but then also when I got the Moldavite, it started changing my life in kind of a big way. And I feel like Sugilite has that same kind of power in it to change things. So Sugilite is something that now I can't even remember why I picked it up and put it on, but I must have been reading about it somewhere. And I was working at a crystal shop. We had some at this particular shop. We were allowed to wear the jewelry around all day. And I mean, it kind of showed it off, and we would take pictures of it and post it and stuff like that. So I decided to wear a piece of Sugilite this day and to see what happened. And I wore it all day long, and I remember having a really cool experience with it. And I remember my coworker telling me, like, you have to get that. You have to have Sugilite. Like, trust me, you need it. And I wore it all day long. This must have still been in 2019. This was the last day that I worked in 2019. I wore that pendant all day long. The next day that I worked, it was like January 3rd. I only worked one day in 2020 at this store. So I know I worked there another day, and I didn't wear it all day. I mean, it was just the one day, and then I only worked at that place for one more day, and then everything fell apart. Or everything fell together. It just depends on how you look at it. And like, I didn't think about it at the time, but looking back on it a couple of days later, I was like, I think it was the Sugilite. Like, Moldavite pushed me in much the same way. So that's why it just felt like a very familiar type of energy to me. Since then, I knew I was supposed to get some Sugilite, but now I don't have a job. So there was a couple of months where I had my eyes open for it, but I also wasn't like actively crystal shopping because I didn't have an income. And it just kept popping up everywhere. People were telling me to get it in YouTube comments. People were telling me on Instagram to get it, in emails. Like, it was popping up in all of these different places, and that's also what happened with me and Moldavite. So I knew, like, this needs to happen. You need to get this crystal. So finally, someone just sent me a website, and they were like, I don't know if you want to wait on the shipping because it's in another country. I don't know if you want to get a piece in person, but this is a place that I trust, and they have Sugilite. So I took that as a sign. I also got a job right before they sent me this. So I was like, okay, I know I'm going to have an income again. This person just handed me this website. Try this for Sugilite. I got on the website. I loved it. I loved a lot of stuff they had. And I loved the idea of where I was ordering from too. I actually did a whole crystal haul video on that I will link for you guys. So I got this piece of Sugilite in the mail. And I love it immediately. I love it. I got it 2 days ago. And I did the crystal haul video on it, and I held it a little bit that day, and then yesterday while I was sitting at my computer doing some work, I held it a little bit, but that's all. I actually have it on today. Today's the first day I'm going out into the real world, and I'm actually going to work. Here's the thing. When I got this job, the one that I have right now, I wasn't nervous about my interview. I knew I was going to get the job. It's a job that, it's at a crystal shop, so it should be in alignment with me. But there was like, I just wasn't super excited about it, and I knew the whole time in my head, like, this is a very temporary situation. And like, I didn't get this job with that intention, like, I'm gonna work here for 3 weeks and that's it. It's not like that. I had to hop in here because I literally worked at this place for 3 weeks and 1 day. I just threw 3 weeks out there when I was recording this. 3 weeks. That's all. Like an attitude I have about it, it's just this feeling, like an intuitive feeling that I'm not gonna be there very long. That sounds horrible, because why would you start a job and let them train you and everything if you know you're not going to be there for a long time? But I don't know it. I just like feel it kind of deep down, like one of those deep down gut feelings, like, So today I wake up. I'm not excited about going to work today because, okay, reasons I'm not super excited about this job. The other crystal store that I worked at was so magical and like a boutique experience, and I was really helping people, and that's what I'm about. This place is not like that. It's more, I don't know, it's more chainy and touristy, and I'm not trying to say that in a bad way, but it's just not the experience that was feeding my soul. That's the whole thing. This isn't feeding my soul like that, but I still get to be around crystals, so that's awesome, and I know a lot about them, so I'm well equipped to do this job. The hours are weird. Like tonight, I'm not going to get home until like 10 p.m., and that's fine for some people. That's not me. Being someone who does deal with depression, and especially seasonal depression, it's just a thing. I am more productive in the mornings. I'm happier in the mornings, and as the day goes on, I get more and more drained and irritable, and it's just sad, and I can't function as well. I haven't worked past 7 p.m. in like 5 years, and even that, like, that was at a spa, and it was in a quiet environment, and it wasn't often that I had to work that late, and I was 3 minutes away from my house. Like, so that's another reason that I'm not super excited about this. It's a really long commute. Like, I'm driving almost 2 hours every day back and forth to work. I tend to get kind of angry when I drive. I think it's just like an anxiety thing, and so it's just like all these little things adding up to, I don't know how long this is gonna last, right? Like, I already felt like that. So this morning when I woke up, I already wasn't excited about today because this is the first day that I'm working this late shift, and I don't know how it's gonna go. I don't feel like it's gonna be very good for me or anyone around me, but I'm just gonna try to fake it till I make it. I spent all morning crying because I just didn't want to go to work today. But it's like so much deeper than that. It's more of like, okay, so if I don't go to this work, like what am I gonna do? I'm back at square one where I've been for the past 2 months, like searching for something that I feel like doesn't exist for me. and just feeling worthless and stressing about money. And I don't want to be back at square one. But I feel so out of alignment going to this job right now. And I think the reason I'm feeling it so strongly is the Sugilite. I really feel like I'm not supposed to be here, and the Sugilite is trying to tell me that. But I mean, I'm just telling myself, like, get through these 3 days. Like, I'm working 3 days in a row, and then I have like a block of days off. Like, you can do anything for 3 days, right? 3 days at this late schedule, you can do it. Just do it. It's not like, this sounds so ridiculous, because this is not really a problem in the real world. Like, I'm fine. I have a great life. I'm driving in my own car to a job where I'm good at it and I'm making money, and I'm complaining about what? But I'm just searching for something more. I'm searching, my soul needs more. I just really feel like a big part of the struggle I'm going through right now is because of the Sugilite. I feel like it's pushing me. So I'm just gonna hope that it is not only pushing me out of this job, but it's also pushing me towards another one, and the perfect one. And this is my first day of wearing it all day, and I just want to capture every moment of this so I don't forget anything. I'm hopeful and excited about the magic of this crystal, and we'll see what happens. I'm back in another car video. This is a Sugilite update. I don't know if this is ever actually going to turn into a video, you guys. This is pretty rough. But I just have so much time on my hands. And I think a lot when I'm driving, so I don't know. So last night, you guys know I was freaking out about working so late and everything else. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. However, waking up today, I felt dead. It's just my cycles are getting messed up. However, my attitude, I'm in a completely different headspace today. So we're on day 2 of wearing the Sugilite, and today I'm just much more, I'm like open-minded and happy. Oh my God, I can see the moon behind the clouds. It's beautiful. So today, I'm just like giving myself a pep talk. Like, I know this job isn't going to last very long. I know it wouldn't work past the spring. I know all of these things, but I also know, like, I don't need to stress out about the future, because I'm not going to, I keep thinking about how, oh, this isn't going to work in the summer because of this. Well, I'm not going to be at this job during the summer. I have complete faith in that. So I don't need to think about everything that could go wrong if I stayed at this job. I just need to enjoy the season that I'm in and just take it for what it is. Like, this is a few months that's going to be way different in my life, and the scheduling is going to be different and everything else, but that's okay. Like, change is good sometimes. It makes your brain work in a completely different way, and that's why they even say, like, sometimes just take a different route on the way to work. Just doing little stuff that's different can really change your life. And I have been feeling like I'm stuck in a rut a little bit, so I think this is like really good. It's just hard to look at it that way. Change is hard. But it's like yesterday I was really resisting the change, whereas today it's more like, okay, this is a change I'm going through. It's not going to last forever, but right now, there's actually like pluses to this schedule, and there's pluses to this little uncomfortableness I'm going through. So I'm trying to look at it that way a little bit more, and I feel like that's a step in the right direction. Like, the Sugilite is pushing me to change. Like, yesterday I felt the push to change, and it was really uncomfortable. And today it's like I'm just a little bit more accepting of it. So I think that's a pretty cool thing, whether or not it is the Sugilite. I'm in a better headspace today, thinking more positively, and it's the same situation, it's just perspective that has changed. So all also, I just keep getting these messages like everything's about to work out. Like everything you've ever wanted is like right here. It's like right in front of you. You're so close. It's all going to start happening. So I just wanted to give you guys an update today, and now I have. So I'm running into. And then the pandemic came. So that last video was on March the 2nd, and I ended up working 2.5 days more after that, like the following week, and then the following week I only worked part of a day. I was expecting to go to work the next day, but work got a hold of me and told me, we're cutting our hours, we have enough people here, you don't have to come in if you don't want to. So I didn't, and I just never went back. Soon after that, they put everyone on furlough. Everyone was self-isolating. We were on a stay-at-home order, and that lasted for a couple of months. So I literally worked at this place for around 3 weeks, and it was over. And I'm at home every day. My life was drastically different. Yes, it was a little bit stressful at first. There was a whole roller coaster that I think everyone went through in the self-isolation, quarantined, pandemic lifestyle, where it was just weird. But it was change. I was much more peaceful after a time. And at the end of all this, I chose not to go back to this job. / I couldn't go back to this job. It is a place has a lot of traffic every day. Just like, I don't know, hundreds of people coming in and out of the store from all different parts of the country. It's a high tourist area. So they are requiring masks in the store. And I don't like to say limiting things about myself out loud so much anymore, but I used to deal with a panic disorder, and I pretty much have it under control now. I don't have to think about it that much. It doesn't affect me that much anymore. I know the things to avoid in my life so that I don't trigger anything. And it's been a really long time since I've had an actual panic attack. Except I've gotten really, really close in the past month to having a couple of panic attacks, and it's because of wearing a mask. And I'm not just talking about like, oh, I'm feeling anxious and panicked. I'm talking about I lose my vision. My eyesight starts to go black when I have a panic attack, and it starts around the edges, and my field of vision just gets smaller and smaller. I get really lightheaded. I have passed out from them before and woken up on the floor. I mean, that's how it happens for me. And just last week, we were in the store. We were at the very end of our shopping, so we had been there for a while. It wasn't a store where you're required to wear a mask, but I do wear them when I go shopping to make other people feel better. And so I'm wearing a mask in this store, and we're done shopping. Ryan's getting like one more thing, and I'm just waiting for him up front. And just all of a sudden it hits me, and I just can't breathe. My vision starts going black. I'm holding onto the cart, trying not to fall over, and I finally just have to pull my mask down. And that was probably at the end of like 35 minutes. There's 0% chance that I could work an 8-hour shift in a mask right now. So it wasn't even a choice for me to go back, even though I tried to make it a choice. Like in my head, when they asked me to come back on the schedule, I was weighing the pros and cons and like how fortunate I am to have a job offering me to come back when so many people are still out of work. I wasn't able to collect unemployment the whole time because I had only been at this job for 3 weeks. And it's working around crystals, and I liked the people that I worked with, and all this stuff is just, in my head. But at the end of the day, it wasn't even a choice. Like I couldn't go back to that job. So when they asked me to come back and I couldn't go back, I got back on the like anxious train of, oh my God, I have to find a job. And how do I even explain this? I am in, for me and who I am, it is the ultimate perfect situation job that I have found. I am in awe of how well this worked out. So I found this new job that suits me and my personality so well. I get to spend a ton of time alone. The people that I do deal with on a daily basis are lovely people. My bosses are so nice and considerate. It's blowing my mind a little bit. Like, I'm wondering what the catch is for this job. It's just so wonderful, and it's like breathing new life into me, and I have so much more hope for the future. And I have 0% stress when I wake up and have to go to work. I can't even tell you how happy I am. I can't even describe it. Was it the Sugilite? I don't know. You know, as crazy as this year has been, I'm still holding a lot of hope and positivity inside. Somebody that I love listening to on YouTube, she channels a lot. She described 2020 as a book with 4 chapters. So we were going to go through 4 quarters of things. Right now, it's June the 3rd. Wow, exactly. That's a little bit crazy that I picked up the camera and did this today. I feel like I'm literally glowing right now. I'm so at peace and happy. I have this energy coming out of my heart. Like, I'm vibing right now. When you get in those moments where you realize how perfectly everything lined up that you couldn't have ever planned or seen, those moments are cool. No matter what's happening, I think it's very important to remember everything that you are seeing and feeding off of that is out there, someone else is showing that to you. So you can't believe everything that you see. Sometimes it's important to stop looking out there at what other people want you to see and to go inside and see what you actually need to see, where you actually need to focus. That's important. Be peaceful, be happy, stay in gratitude. That's the most important thing. I want to know if you guys have any experience with Sugilite. If you have any Sugilite, if you've ever felt any Sugilite, if you've ever felt like a tug to get some Sugilite, I'd love to hear down below if you want to leave me some comments. Thank you so much for watching today, everyone. I hope you have such a great day.